Now who wanna move close enough? Now who wanna move out of? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em, single bottle, never stop it. To the beast and know 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and
Welcome to Bengals and Brews. I'm just kidding. I am Greg Luther, here with my co-sport Chop. Dale will be on shortly. Right now, we're just going to BS till he comes on. How are we doing today, Chop?
I'm doing pretty good, but I just woke up, so it's a fresh start.
Hey, you're doing a lot better than the Cleveland Browns are doing right now, right?
Pretty much my entire life because they suck.
Yeah, and that, hey, your star player asked for a trade. Not even, the Browns are willing to give him the money, but he says, look, I want to win. When your star player comes out with a note saying, Cleveland, I love you guys, but I have to do what's best for me, I think that says a lot right there, saying, get me the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's true. Well, first of all, thank you for everybody in the Brew Crew for joining us. We appreciate that. A lot of people in there today, man. Stranger, Ross, Crip, Chris from Jersey, Tony, Darth, David, and Travis, and my number one customer, Matt.
Well, welcome to you all. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Monday afternoon. It's 67 degrees outside, so thank you all for joining us.
Is it really 67 degrees outside?
Broke the record since 1893 when it was 66 on this day.
Feeling much better today there, Travis. Thank you so much. I feel like I could go back to work, but I have to wait for a doctor release.
Here comes Dale right now.
Dale is in the back room doing back room things.
Sure. Yes, he is.
Now he's in the front room.
I'll do it.
But
right
he's
now.
still doing back room things because he doesn't have the camera on. Ooh, that sounds hot. Oh, was that you?
No, that was Dale.
Oh, then you did it.
I just added on to it.
Well,
It's better when you do it with the camera off, though, Greg, because people don't think it's your mouth. They think it's your wiener. Now you do it too, Dale.
No, that'd be weird.
I know. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was shooting for.
I know. You are.
You know what I was shooting for? You know what I was shooting for? Midwest Best Barbecue.
Shooting your load for.
Chop Shop. Proud sponsors of this show. That's what I'm always shooting for.
That's right. 5 deal. It's done.
No,
I don't know that for real.
Yeah, that's probably not accurate.
Hopefully there's one in the works.
Stranger, it is 70 degrees here. It's like summer.
Is it really?
How's
snowing?
Here.
Are you in Alaska?
Right. No shit, man. God dang.
So what do you guys think about Myles Garrett before we talk defensive tackles for the Bengals? I figured Greg was...
Chop said he was just waking up. He's like, I'm barely awake. I'm like,
I knew about Myles Garrett, though. That news came through last night.
No, it was not last night, Dale.
It was last night because it was before I went to bed.
Well, he put out a statement that he wanted traded.
But yeah, today we find out.
I mean, it's the same thing. He's just going on with the statement. Yesterday, he said he wanted to trade.
Yeah.
So today, he said he wanted to trade again.
In a statement.
Like he dug in his heels this time. Oh, this time he made an official statement instead of just
and tweeted it out. Official
statement. My opinion is, like, if this was the Bengals and you got your, let's say it's Jamar Chase, okay, because Myles Garrett in Cleveland is Jamar Chase in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? That's the way that
Naughty. I'm with you, buddy. I have no delusions that we're getting Myles Garrett. I'm just talking about the fact that he requested a trade. This isn't.
No, I'm not. I don't want to give up the juice that it would take to get Myles Garrett, to be honest. But I think that when you got your star player like that disgruntled, it is not good for your locker room. So I mean, if he's going to dig his heels in, if they can't resolve this within a week or something, they probably need to find a trade partner.
And if you're a Cleveland Browns fan right now, make sure you head on down to Cleveland Stadium for a protest. This time it isn't a parade going 0-16. This is a protest of ownership. Be down there at 5 p.m.
Are they having one, Greg?
They're having a protest at the stadium at 5 p.m.
Are they really?
Yes.
Is Myles Garrett going to come sign autographs?
Hey, yeah, he's going to sign autographs for everybody. Yes.
Myles Garrett put out a statement, and they're going to protest Myles Garrett's statement.
Oh, yeah, Naughty. I've seen it all over Twitter, too. It's like, yeah, he can come to Cincinnati. I'm like, that's crazy, bro. I agree.
Myles Garrett would love to come to Cincinnati.
We had crazy people.
It's
about Justin Jefferson last year, too. So
massive protest in downtown Cleveland demanding the Browns fire everybody.
Huge.
So it's in downtown.
Okay. I hope they don't fire everybody.
Down there, Browns fans.
Well, you know what? You can't fire everybody. You can't fire ownership. So is
that's he's the problem.
Yeah. Same problem we got here in the Natty.
Yeah. So good luck.
But like Myles Garrett is like 30, right?
29, I think.
29, and the juice that you'd have to give up for him. I mean, they're looking for a 1 and a 2 or a 1 and 2 threes. No fucking way. And then you're going to bring him in.
Then you got to pay him.
Then you got to pay him. Look,
$30 million per, probably.
$30 million, right? No.
Cleveland is still saying they're standing their ground, but like you said, Chop, Cleveland radio show host even said this. I do not want him, as much as I love Myles Garrett. He said you do not someone who's disgruntled in your locker room right now saying, "Get me the heck out."
No, that's what I'm saying. Plus, remember, he's got those bone spurs. We don't want them bone spurs. Remember, he said he was fighting through all season. He had to have. He's supposed to have operation this off season to get both of his feet fixed. I'm not saying, I'm just joking about that. I'd still take his ass. Like, if for some reason it came to, and I understand, and I don't think we're getting him either. Not a chance in hell. But if for some reason I woke up tomorrow and they're like, Bengals made a deal for Myles Garrett, I would be like, boner fucking city.
Well, let me ask you guys this. If this was the Bengals, we'd be getting ripped on a heck of a lot more than the Browns. But I just think everybody's just so used to it with the Browns. They're like, oh, yeah, this is a typical Browns thing every couple of years or so.
Yeah. Now Deion's not going to let his son go there.
Probably not.
He wasn't anyways.
Yeah, right.
Man, I don't remember exactly, KP, what the Raiders got for Mac, but I'm sure it was the
Bears.
Was that the same situation?
It was like 2 first-round picks or something.
Was Khalil Mack, was he
from the Raiders to the Bears, right?
I mean, was he disgruntled like Myles Garrett?
No, they just couldn't afford him.
Oh, I didn't know if it was like same kind of scenario.
Yeah, here's what they got in the Khalil Mack trade. Give me 1 second here, if I can.
As long as you don't go the Ravens or the Steelers, right?
Boom. Yeah. Well, I mean, if he does, we're no worse. If he goes to the Ravens and the Steelers, to be honest, we're no worse off.
I mean, I don't know, man. Him on the Steelers.
I mean, he's still AFC North.
So here's how the trade went. The Raiders traded a second-round pick, and a conditional 5th-round pick to the Bears for a first-round pick, another first-round pick, as well as a 2019 6th-round pick. So, and Mack was 27 at the time. Garrett's 29, but Garrett, I mean, if I'm in Cleveland, what do you think is a reasonable trade to get Myles Garrett? If you're the Lions,
first-round pick, that's it.
It starts at a first, but you're going to have to at least give, like you said, Chop, probably they're going to want at least a second. And they may want, maybe you go a first and a third and you get him, but then you're paying him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be the bare minimum probably to get him. My guess is a first and at least 1/3.
Yeah,
but fuck him, right? As long as you don't go to the Chiefs or the Steelers or the Ravens.
That's where he's going to go though. The Chiefs will find the goddamn money for his ass. He's going to the Chiefs. Probably they're going to do a 4-peat.
Yeah. What's better than 3-peat, 4-peat? More Taylor Swift. That's what we all want, right? As NFL fans.
Yeah, that's what we want. We just want the one fucking team.
Somebody asked about the Senior Bowl. I watched it. Go. I mean, it's hard to get. Like, I think you get more out of the practices.
It's going to the Lakers.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Dallas fans in general.
Go ahead, Dale. I interrupted you.
But yeah, so the Senior Bowl, it's hard to get too much out of the games because by the time the game comes around, you have about 40 players who have opted out from practices to the game. Some after day 2, some after day 3, some right before the game. So there's a lot of guys that didn't play. There's some guys that impressed. Chop was very impressed with his LSU guy, Savion Jones.
I was. That guy looked good, didn't he?
It's like 6'5", 290, so you can move him up down the line. I mean, if I bump him, Chop, it's not going to be crazy bump because I just like this whole edge class, and I got him with the edges, but I do love his versatility. I think the earliest he could go is maybe like a late 4th round. But, I think fifth would be like a good place for a guy like that. Bengals or anybody, and a good, like, he's not going to go in and start day one, but he's a guy that you can rotate in, and maybe he becomes a starter down the road.
I do have a question about the Senior Bowl that does not involve an LSU player, but it's a little closer to home because Al Golden is our D coordinator now. But the what's his name? Michael Watts, is that his first name?
Well, Xavier Watts.
Xavier Watts. Was he invited to the Senior Bowl and just didn't play?
I'm sure he was invited, but yeah, he probably.
I'm fucking reading the tea leaves, man. I'm reading the tea leaves bad. Bring me back home because I'm thinking no reason for injury when you know you're pick 17.
Yeah, and Landon Jackson did look good, Dustin. But yeah, I don't want him at 17. I don't see the explosiveness and the bend that I want in an edge rusher at 17. But hey, if he was there at 49, you could talk me into Landon Jackson then. Kid out of Arkansas. Talk about another big kid that can move around. He's around 6'6", like 280, I think. He's somewhere in that range. I don't remember exactly what his measurements were, but big dude. Originally from LSU before he went to Arkansas Chops.
Yeah. I was watching some stuff that maybe you or somebody else put up on him, but what do you think about what I said about Xavier Watts? I mean, do you think anything like that when you see that he didn't go to the Senior Bowl?
No.
All right.
No, there's a lot of guys that just don't go because they're like, well, we're going to train, or even after that late in the season. I'm sure if he wanted to go even late, that he could have, but once your team's winning and stuff like that. I mean, and shout out to the Jack Kaisers, RJ Oben, Riley Leonards that went to the Senior Bowl and still played all week and played in the game.
Right.
Kaiser switched them to safety, the linebacker. He was playing safety because they were just out of bodies in the second half of that game. So just a football player, right? And that's a guy maybe fourth, fifth round. I could see the Bengals taking a shot with, speaking of Notre Dame guys, with Al Golden. So
there's another LSU guy, Frazier, did real good at the Senior Bowl too, right?
Yeah, we've talked about
that's
him.
A position we're looking for.
Yeah, Dellinger, on the other hand, didn't do very well, the other guard. So they kind of definitely separated, I think. But, both like fourth, fifth round guys, I think I could see Frazier in the third now and Dellinger more like
that dude got like multiple penalties. He got at least 2 penalties, right?
Yeah, he was getting dominated during the week, too, in general. So, yeah. But I won't spend too much time on the Senior Bowl stuff. We'll talk a lot of draft and talk about a lot of these guys, and they'll get brought up as we're, this guy had a good senior, and discuss it that way. But we want to talk about defensive tackles and our defensive tackle room, defensive tackle options for free agency, and then defensive tackle options for the draft is the last thing we'll get to. So we'll start with our current room. There's not a lot. There's not a lot currently under contract. So you got Chris Jenkins, McKinley Jackson, and technically, you still got Sheldon Rankins under contract, but we expect him to be cut. If you look at their PFF grades, because we'll compare some PFF grades of some free agents to the guys currently on the roster, Chris Jenkins, 53.5 pass rush grade, 46.5 run defense grade. That's not great. No, that's not great.
No.
McKinley Jackson, 51.2 pass rush and 53.1 run defense. Now, we saw flashes, but once again, when I say, this kind of backs up what I've been saying, I see those guys as the rotational guys, not as my D tackle 1, not as my D tackle 2. Does one of them hopefully grow into that in a couple years? Sure. That's what you hope for. But going into next year, knowing that we need to get back to the playoffs and try to win a Super Bowl, I'm not counting on those guys more than anything in my D tackle 3 and 4. Unfortunately, they're D tackle 1 and 2 right now because they're basically all that's on the roster. But I expect that to change.
Do you think that, I know that you're talking about the rookies, but do you think BJ Hill sticks around? Do you think they re-sign him?
He's on the free agent list, so I can go ahead and mention he had a 64.2 pass rush grade, so obviously better than those guys, right? And Sheldon Rankins, when he played, had 58.9, so BJ was our best pass rusher of the D tackles. And he also had a 69.2 run defense grade, which was the best of our D tackles, which kind of shows the importance of BJ, like why you would want him back, at least as your 2 in an ideal world. Maybe your 1 or your 2, but you need a 1 and a 2. Maybe BJ is one of those guys, but he is 30. And how much is he going to make? Well, the projection from PFF, he's 29.7 years old, so he will turn 30 before the season starts. The projection is 2 years, $20.5 million. So I'll kick it around the horn. We can start with Derek. Derek, do you sign BJ Hill back at 2 years, $20.5 million, if that. And these are all projections. Who knows what they'll get, but this is just a basis to go on.
So the problem to me with BJ Hill is going to be like, and I don't know how much this is going to go into the effect of it, but like the friendship he has with Pratt, and if we end up cutting Pratt, do you think BJ will even want to come back? I don't know if.
Yeah, this is a goddamn NFL. Friends are friends, but this is the NFL.
Yeah.
These guys played together in college, and then they face each other. You know what I'm saying? You can have
I could see that.
You can have a defensive end and a quarterback that are best friends, and then they're on opposite teams, and the D ends killing the quarterback.
If Porkchop said, Dale, I'm going to give you $20.5 million to do Bengals and Brews for 2 more years, but we're going to trade Derek to
right.
To sports with strawberry ice.
Right.
I'll be like, Derek, I love you.
Yeah, bye now.
I'm going to stay here for my $20.5 million.
As a matter of fact, I needed to talk to you later tonight, Dale. And there goes Derek. Yeah, bye. Fucker's already gone.
Yeah, he's already on his way to sports with strawberry
He's already,
ice.
if you, damn. Yeah. You had to switch over to sports with strawberry ice and do a check-in real quick. Like, I still got a job, right? They're talking about firing me.
No, I could see it, but I mean, my problem is he was solid, but like we've always said with BJ Hill, you need another guy with him. So do we really want to spend that amount of money for a rotational guy?
Yeah, well, they all should be rotational guys, to be fair.
Did he really rotate that much last year? Didn't he he was like not rotational at all.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like Dale said, you want them to have a rotational role, and I don't know. It seems a little expensive for my taste. I could be wrong. He also had
3 sacks, so I have sack numbers for guys too and what they had. Go ahead, Derek, and then we'll ask Greg.
No, I was just saying I could be wrong, but for me it just seems a little expensive.
You pulled a Greg.
I did it on purpose.
Yeah, BJ is very important, Renee. You're correct. BJ is very important.
So, let me ask you something though. If we get rid of him and we don't do 10.5
$10.25 million per year is average.
Who do we bring in to replace him at what price? Are we saving money by getting somebody else?
Chop, that's the whole show, buddy. That's
that's what I'm saying. I'm setting you up, Dale. Go ahead.
Well, Greg, would you pay him that to start with, and even before we get it, and maybe you guys just want to come back to him after you hear about these other guys?
I have to see what's out there first. I don't want to make another. But now DJ Reed was more valuable than Hill, but I don't want to make another mistake where we just don't get anybody. But to be honest with you, not really. I do not feel comfortable doing that. I'd rather just start all over, draft someone. I know that's a risk you're taking, but I'd see who's out there. If you can get someone out there. I don't know how many suitors you're going to have for me. BJ will have his suitors, but I'm just saying, like Derek was just saying, losing, like I mean, go back to Larry Ogunjobi. His best year is when we had Larry Ogunjobi. He's not, we're like you were mentioning McKinley, you were mentioning Graham. Those are those are guys that those are rotational pieces. I do look at BJ Hill's rotational piece. There's nothing wrong with rotational pieces. You have to have a for sure guy. Hey, I know I can plug this guy in the majority of the snaps and be dominant. BJ Hill has just never really proved that. He's not a bad player, but in my opinion, I would never pay a rotational player that much money.
But all defensive tackles should be rotational players, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, yes, you're right. But the majority of the snaps and all that, I'm just saying
I just want to clarify. I'd pay him.
That's fine.
I'd pay him. I mean, it's
a tough one, right? Because you lose him and he goes somewhere else and does well. And what did you replace him with?
Besides Trey Hendrickson, he's the best guy on our defensive line.
Yeah.
Is that not a true statement?
I mean, yeah, he has been the second best player on our team.
Yeah. I mean, if you take out Trey, then he is.
Once you lost DJ, he was clearly the second.
No, I hear what you guys are saying. I'm just saying,
he's like fucking solid. So I'm just like, I don't know where the numbers are because I don't know what positions get paid what normally, but I mean, if that's in line with what we're going to pay a free agent to come in, stick with BJ Hill. I like BJ Hill. I think he's been productive for us. And I think that if you get him in a more of a rotational position, those numbers also go up.
Yeah, if he's not on the field as much,
Last year because of injuries.
That's the thing. Are you going to pay a guy almost, $10 or $11 million? I don't know. You paid Sheldon Rankins over 12, so do you pay a guy who's been here and done it, and you know
Sheldon
what you have
Rankins,
in him?
I'm starting to feel like there was issues between him and the organization. I don't know. It just feels weird, that whole situation. He's definitely not going to be
now, if we drafted a good DT in the first round, like a Walter Nolan, then I could see that, you'd have
the problem is free agencies before the draft, and that's always the catch-22 because you don't know what you're going to get.
Exactly. You don't know what you're going to get, but it's also a heavy DT class in the draft. I'm just throwing that out there as well.
You know what? Here's what you do. You just take – go ahead, Greg.
If we do sign BJ Hill back, I'm not going to get upset or anything. You just, but like you better have that one other rotational piece that's going to be good to help him out. I still think Graham's going to be good. I still think McKinley will be good, but you have to have we need 2 DTs point blank either way.
Yeah. I just think that if you're going to pay BJ's replacement BJ money or more than BJ, and he ain't better than BJ, stick with BJ.
I mean, like you said, Dale, if you're getting the guy, you're hoping he's going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, though, I'm just like handing Al Golden the keys. Like, here, dude, do what the fuck you want. If what you want is to gut our defense and come back brand fucking new and replace everybody in free agency, just do it.
Yeah, just Chris asked how much was Hill making and where he's getting ready to turn 30. Does he deserve a raise? I mean, because I mean, Trey turned 30 and he seemed to be just fine. So but it's you don't know, right? It either works out and you look good paying him, and he was making about $8 million. So I think 10 is a fair number for, hey, we're going to give you, he's making between 8 and 10 already. So he might have been making 10. So you're giving him basically what he made last year. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have a huge problem with it, but I would want somebody more explosive, but that doesn't mean in an ideal world, you get BJ Hill back, you get another guy that you think can be somebody, and you draft one, and then you've got 5 defensive tackles because you're going to use 5 of them.
I just want to say, Darth's right, though. See, Greg's up here tossing around the idea of either keeping BJ or not BJ, but I'm always on team keep a BJ.
You can't give away a BJ, Greg, and get nothing in return.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Greg,
true.
you want to keep that BJ. If you're if you're ever offered a BJ for a whole season, even in a rotational role, take the BJ.
But then if the BJ's gone, and now you got nothing.
Right, exactly.
Then you get to watch everybody else get a BJ.
That's when I said I don't want to be in the same situation with DJ Reader last year. We couldn't get a goddamn nose tackle or anything. But
Greg's still on football. We were definitely off.
Wait a minute. Wait, Greg's talking football?
Yeah, Greg was still talking about football.
Oh, what we were saying, Greg, the B stands for blow.
I know, Chop.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Well, you don't want to let one of those get away.
Yeah, all right, we'll move on to some outside free agent options. Milton Williams, the guy I love, he's probably going to make good money. It's got a projection here. And it's the projection, honestly, I could talk myself into doing it because you're not giving up draft capital because he'd be on the free agent market. But start with the pass rush grade, 90.4.
Give me
pass
Milton.
Rush grade.
Who?
Milton Williams, the Eagles.
Give me Milton.
A 43.1 run defense grade. That's not great. Guess what? I don't give a shit. Go get quarterback. Me want someone go get quarterback. And he had 6 sacks this season. So that sounds pretty good from your defensive tackle. And he is 25.9 years old, so he's not quite turned 26 yet. But you're a player in the prime of his career right there at 26 years old. So an ascending talent. It's gotten better each year, put together his best year with the Eagles. And he is projected to get 3 years, $63 million per PFF. So $21 million a year to get a guy that can get you 6 sacks from the interior to pair up with Trey and hopefully somebody in the draft. What do you guys think?
Hell yeah. Get me to the airport right now. I'll camp out for Milton Williams.
I'm with Greg with the hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, I'll go to his house right now. Somebody look up his address.
Jerkins.
You'll be
Jenkins
by yourself. No more BJ, and you'll be sitting around Jenkins by yourself.
I know. If you don't got no BJ, you just be sitting there Jenkins it.
That is the fear, Em, that he's a contract year guy, but his PFF grades were spectacular last year as well. He's been an ascending player is the way I see it. I don't think it's a contract year. If I felt that way, I wouldn't be as high on him, but I mean, I understand, that's always a worry, right? You could have said Trey Anderson was a contract year guy, or was he an ascending player?
I think that they should just the Bengals just need to take their needle and move it from 30 to 32. 30 to 32, like players over 32. All right, let's give them an extra 2 years because, like, look, man, people back in the Pilgrim days died around 40, 50 years old. That was like maximum life expectancy. Things are better now. Drugs are better. This is why retirement homes are so full. It's because people are living too long past what your body does because modern medicine. So 32 is the new 30 for the love of God, NFL, at least at the Bengals. Push your needle up to 32.
Well, and with him, you don't even have to worry about it because he's not even 26 years old yet.
Yeah, there you go.
With Milton Williams, we're talking right in the Bengals' comfort level age-wise. It's just about the money. But, hey, you spent 12 on Sheldon Rankins. You were spending 10, basically, on B.J. Hill.
Now, and this guy's
there's your money for Milton Williams, 21 per year. Boom.
You said this guy's a 3-tech? He's a 3-tech, Dale?
Yeah, pass rush.
So, would he let me just ask you, so if you give him Sheldon Rankins money, would that bring him here, you think?
No.
Oh, he needs to be more than Sheldon Rankins.
Sheldon Rankins and B.J. Hill money is combined as Milton Williams. He's going to be one of the top guys on the market overall.
But this would be like having Dexter, what's his name?
Lawrence.
Yeah, well,
right?
he's just a special freak show. This guy, I ain't giving that because Dexter can do both, man. He can rush the passer and play the run.
Okay.
But Dale,
this kid's not going to play the run.
There's no chance the Eagles could tag him, right? Because they got a lot of money.
They could. I mean, they always could. Yeah. So, but yeah, he's a guy I'd obviously love to have. I don't want to spend too much time talking about him just because we're talking a top of the market guy. I don't see us necessarily ever playing in that range. Like, prove me wrong. It took Orlando Brown being on the market a few days and him calling us for him to come here. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't see us making that push. But, hey, I'd love to be shocked and you re-sign all the guys and you say, boom, we got this big splash in Milton Williams because now you
still got your phone?
Pass rush upgrade. Huh?
You still got your phone?
Why wouldn't I have my phone?
Well, that way you could call down there to Paycor and see if Myles Garrett's agents made the call yet.
Yeah. For Myles Garrett, we're jumping from Milton Williams, Myles Garrett.
I'm just saying, like, who knows, man? Maybe his agent will call.
Yeah. Next guy on the list, and he's honestly projected to get even more money, Osa Odigizua. So 78.5 pass rush grade and 50.8 run defense grade, 7 sacks. So he had one more sack on the season. He is only 26.4 years old, so even a little younger than Milton Williams. Great player with the Cowboys there. 4 years, $85 million is the projection, though. I can't see us paying that. Derek, what do you think?
No, I honestly like all these guys that are getting the
what the hell?
Money.
Derek, you sound weird.
I sound weird.
Yeah, you sound very weird.
Like
weirder than
normal.
Too.
Like weirder than normal.
I was about to normal dad always sound weird.
Yeah,
you might have to sign out and back in.
Yeah, so it's really bad. So yeah, Greg, what do you think about Osa Odigizua?
Why not, man? Odigizua. That'd be a hell of a shirt for Chop to make, right?
He could line up right next. He could put O'Dickey right next to the BJ.
There you go. I mean, hey, Dale, you know what, man? I'm all in for getting me. If you can get me Milton or him, sign me up for that. I mean, obviously, I'll be commanding more money. Right now, I don't give a shit. Bengals say they're serious.
I mean, it's honestly not much different, to be fair. It's just a year tacked on. So with a year tacked on, it's 22 for the fourth year of it instead of 21.
If you give me one of those two, and I'll be cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I would love for the Bengals to show, this is their opportunity to show the fans that they care. Show the fans that they're in, that they care about winning and they want to win. If they go out and get a big name. And so the ones you're going over now, Dale, are people
These two. The pass rush is specifically.
Exactly. These are names that would excite Bengals fans, once they saw the numbers and stuff too. And yes, Jesus Christ, I'd be down with it. Give Trey some help. And then hopefully Miles Murphy kicks it in too. I mean, come on, man. Yes.
No, David, they do not care though. Do they care if the fans care?
Right. Not at all.
They do not. And yeah, I think I would rather probably have Milton. I just love what he does as a pass rusher, but Osa Odigizua would be a great get too. I think either one of those guys immediately improve your pass rush. Don't you agree, Derek?
Derek?
Yeah. Do I sound better now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I went back and it said, "Hey, if you're having mic issues, copy this link." I'm like,
nope, you still sound like shit.
You sound like shit.
damn.
Go ahead with your thing, though. Sounded somewhat better.
I was just saying, like, we've spent a lot of money on the defensive side of the ball here lately, and I could see these guys not wanting to go out and spend even more money on that side of the ball.
Yeah,
well, I mean, you also got to realize if you're going to spend that kind of money, you're going to get rid of some veterans that people are going to really be like shock and awe when you get rid of them.
Not really. Sheldon Rankins, bye. 12.5.
No, but Mike Hilton.
Hubbard, 10, bye.
What about Mike Hilton?
He's a free agent. Anyways.
Yeah, I know, but we don't want to see him go.
I mean, if I had to, if they made moves elsewhere, I couldn't live with it.
I like Mike.
I do too. It's not that I don't like him, but it's. I think for me, with those two guys, it's Milton Williams, Osa Odigizua, or do you pay half that price for BJ Hill? You know what I mean? That's probably.
I got to tell you, if they're going to pay one of these guys that are premier pass rushers at the 3-tech spot, then I would take that over BJ Hill. I apologize to you, BJ.
Yeah. Next guy on the list, Levi Onwuzurike. I believe he is with the Lions. 67.1 pass rush grade, 64.1 run defense grade, so he can do a little of everything. 3 sacks, which is the exact same as BJ Hill, but he is also just under 27 years old, and 2 years, $16.5 million projection. So we're talking even cheaper than BJ Hill, and 3 years younger.
3 years younger,
same production.
I'll take my chance.
Similar numbers.
Yeah,
I'll take my chance on. I'd take that over BJ.
So this one actually makes a lot of sense. So like if the projected contract ends up being what it gets, you're getting potentially a younger BJ Hill, so somebody who still could improve a little bit while you're here.
Yeah.
Pronounce his name again, Dale. What's his name again?
Levi Onwuzurike.
Okay, I'll just call him Levi. Yeah, no, I'll take Levi.
I guess I'd be okay either way, but I kind of want to. I just don't believe in this 30 shit, man. I guess it's because I'll be 53 at the end of this month, but I would just probably. You know what? It doesn't matter, and I'll tell you why. Because it ain't Lou Anarumo. Like if you keep BJ, he can help with our system, but it's a whole new system being implemented. So
it's true.
I'm okay with upgrading every position or swapping players out for ones that Al Golden likes best. So I'd be okay with it. If Lou Anarumo is still our defensive coordinator, I would pick BJ over Nzwikinianie.
Hargrave, Travis asked about Javon Hargrave. We talked about him previously because it said he was likely to be cut by the 49ers. Older, coming off an injury, had a couple injuries throughout his career. I don't know what his market would be, but 1 year, $6 million. Hargrave, sure, sign me up. So he's another option that's not on my list, but because he only played like 2 or 3 games before he, I think, tore his bicep this past year.
Did you put your window down, Derek?
Yeah, Derek, you're having all kinds of audio.
Yeah, I
can hear your window down.
No, I don't have my window down. I switched on my AirPods, my expensive-ass AirPods that I just fucking bought just for this purpose, that were having all kinds of issues, to my CarPlay.
This guy's not happy right now. He's not happy.
I am
He's
not
angry.
happy.
You do not have a boner.
The boner is
gone.
But anyway, so we'll move on.
Moving on.
This, not necessarily in an order of contracts coming up, but this would break Chop's rule of now trying to get it to 32 because this man is 47 years old. He's not actually 47, but he's like 38. Calais Campbell, 66.2 pass rush grade, 85.9 run defense grade, 5 sacks just last year. He is 38.4 years old, so he will turn 39 during the season. And the projection is 1 year, $3 million. Would I want this guy? Yeah, I wanted him last year. I don't care. Till he proves he can't play it at a high level, give me this motherfucker, especially $3 million.
Let's just fucking start a GoFundMe to get this son of a bitch here. How many seasons in a row do the Bengals fans have to go, look at this, man, we could get Campbell, and then he goes to another team and fucking dominates, and we could have got him for shit money.
And if we don't get him, the Ravens wanted to trade for him and get him back, so they're going to be interested.
Yeah.
Here's a poll question you should post, Dale. Which player have we been harping the last couple of years? Calais Campbell or Dalton Risner?
Both.
Yeah, exactly. We could have both for like $5 million.
Yeah, I know.
It's insane. It's insane sometimes when we can all see like, hey, this would be a good pickup. This guy's still on the market. Why don't you get him?
For $3,000-4,000 million or $3 or $4 million, I would so be ready to take a flyer on Campbell and see if he still got the juice.
For sure. Same. I think that's easy for all of us to say. Yeah, if you could get him, get him. You could still get one of these other guys and him. That $3 million ain't jack
shit. Of course,
shit.
This whole talk about Calais Campbell is fucking deja vu.
Exactly. So next guy on the list, Chop, also just misses your cutoff for age 32. Jerron Reed, 73.7 pass rush grade, 58.2 run defense grade, 4 sacks, played at Seattle this year. 1 year, $6 million projection. I like it for a guy that could come in and pass rush, right? We got nothing out of Jake.
Yeah, hold on. I apologize. I'll be right back. Okay. I apologize.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dale.
Your thoughts on Jerron Reed? I think that could be a rotational pass rush guy. And this is like, hey, maybe you missed out on your top targets, but
Bills, right? He was on.
He's bounced around. I think he was on the Seahawks this past year.
Okay, you know what? Wait a minute. Did the Bengals try to get him not too?
Yeah, they did.
Do I sound like a chipmunk right now to you guys?
No, what? Derek? Okay. Dale. Yeah, no, I would take him too as another rotational piece. I mean, why not Dale? Anything better than last year. I don't care. Age honestly doesn't bother me. If you can still play, you can still play. Yeah. I don't care.
And hopefully Derek can come back for this guy because this is another one that we wanted, and he went to the Chargers just like Tart. Poona Ford, 71.1 pass rush grade, 78.8 run defense grade, 3 sacks in 2024. He is 29 years old, so you're looking around the same age as B.J. Hill, a little bit younger, over half a year younger. And his projection is just 1 year, $3.5 million. Another guy, like, give me a Poona Ford, give me a Jerron Reed, give me a Calais Campbell. These are not your big splash signings, but these are your good, solid veteran. You're going to be in my top 4 or 5 guys to rotate on my line as pass rushers. So,
right, you're not going to tell them to start the majority of the time or anything. You just got to rotate in and out. Like I said, we have the rotational guys, but give me someone that's more reliable that you can rely on too as a rotational guy. All right, yeah. Derek, how you doing?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Better.
Do I sound normal?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Somewhat.
You sound normal so far. I just don't want to jinx it.
Right.
I put my AirPods back in, and then all of a sudden everybody sound like fucking Alvin, Theodore, and whatever the fuck the other guy's name is.
Derek, not to interrupt you, but you have a two-wheeler in the back that's kind of rolling around a little bit. Just be careful so it doesn't hit you or anything.
Oh, yeah. My dolly in the backside?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's win now mode. Get John Cena, Santa Claus, Tom Hanks. I don't care. Anyone to help us win a Super Bowl. I don't care. That's right. Get them all. If we're going to sign a 30-plus-year-old, don't want it at $10 million. That's fair. So Poona Ford, who's 29 at $3.5 million, or B.J. Hill, who's 30 at over $10 million. I don't know. I'd bring in Poona Ford. Derek, I know you.
For the love of God, get me some Poona.
Yes, get Derek some Poona. 71.1, Derek, is what I said on the pass rush, and 78.8 on run defense this year. 3 sacks, same as B.J. Hill. So for a fraction of the cost.
I wanted him last year.
Yes.
We're
seeing some names, right? We're starting to see some options as we go through this list.
At this point, I'm ready to let BJ walk. Sorry. But just they got to come at it now and not sit around or anything like they did last year.
Here's another guy that's interesting with the Chiefs. Tershawn Wharton, 68.3 pass rush grade, only a 44.3 run defense grade, but he had 7 sacks this season. He is not even 27 years old yet. Projected contracts is 2 years, $16.5 million.
What?
So maybe, right? $8.25 million per. I mean, younger.
I'll take that over BJ. Jeez, he's not even 27 yet.
He's not going to be as good a run defender, but you're hoping Jackson and Jenkins are those.
But Jenkins and Jackson is what they're known for. I want the pass rush. Give me the pass rush.
Yeah.
Give me more cowbell.
BJ or Puna? Decisions.
Decisions.
You want the BJ or you want the Poon?
I'll take Puna all day.
We can no longer get Luka Doncic. He is a Laker now. So that's another name, and then another one that I just expect probably isn't on the Bengals list because they didn't want him last year is Tyler Tart, but 75.6 pass rush grade. Man, could have used that. 69.7 run defense grade. Just one sack, but damn, it sounds like he was getting a lot of pressure and playing good run defense. And he's not even 28 years old yet. Getting ready to turn 28. And his projection is still just 1 year, $2.5 million. He signed for around that last year. Sure would have been nice to have him last year.
Yep.
But probably not going to get him. Any thoughts on him? I mean, it's another guy like, shit, why not?
Yep, exactly. I've always said a good, nice Tart Puna is what everybody needs.
Yeah. And the Chargers had some Tart Puna this year, and they went to the playoffs. Greg, any thoughts on Tart? I said probably wouldn't happen just because.
It's not going to happen. I mean, like, how many chances did we have in the past? I mean, we had him in for a visit. He was literally the last remaining option we had at nose tackle, and I was very frustrated. If the fact that he was the only option left, and the fact that says a lot right there. I'm not going to get my hopes up. We had too many chances. I'm just not going to get my hopes up.
Yeah. Next guy on the list is interesting because didn't know anything about him, but someone posted some clips, and I was watching him. And I'm not even sure his true position or if he just can continue to add weight, lose weight, and do whatever, because it's like Michael Holt. I don't probably mispronouncing his last name, but he plays with the Rams. 63.7 pass rush grade, 74.7 run defense grade. He's 27 years old. He had 4.5 sacks in 2022. He had 6 sacks in 2023 and 3 sacks in 2024. That all sounds good. The catch is last year he kind of played linebacker / edge and played for the Rams at 6'4", 267. But he's previously played some defensive tackle and been listed at 310. That's what I read.
Well, here's what.
Damn.
Well, he's got the Zach Taylor. There's a connection. Zach Taylor and Sean McVay right there. So that could be somewhat of a connection right there that may help out. But, I mean, whatever D coordinator came in and did that, why fix something that's working? I don't get that at all. But, yeah, I'm moving him back to D tackle if I sign him.
Well, I mean, it sounds like I don't know what year. Maybe he played that last year when he had 6. I don't know. That's just my initial, looking up some stats and stuff on this guy and some grades and some stuff about him after watching him. But either way, to me, that's just a football player, right? If he's coming in here and we're still running the base 4-2, maybe he's an edge. But he's played some inside, so you kick him in, and you're like your NASCAR package on third downs. This just seems like a guy that you could get on the field that's produced, and he's still 27 years old, and he might not break the bank. I don't have a contract projection on him, but
this could be your Sam Hubbard replacement right here.
Yeah, with more pass rush juice, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
So what's his name again?
It's like Michael Holt, Hoecht. Hawk Tua? Hawk Tua?
Hot BJ.
I don't know. I mean, just a name I wanted to mention because that was intriguing, so I added him. Next guy on the list is DJ Jones. 71.2 pass rush grade, 60.9 run defense grade. He is 30 years old, 1 sack, projected to get 2 years, $18 million. I don't know enough about him to really have an opinion either way, but maybe. I think with a guy like that, I'd probably just keep BJ Hill. Money isn't too far off.
Yeah.
I think maybe Seahawks, Greg, but honestly, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if anybody in the chat knows DJ Jones. I didn't write down teams. I'm just trying to remember where guys were as we go through it.
Well, I like the fact that there's quite a few options out there. There's not like a big drop off or anything. Obviously, Milton and that other and what's his name? What do I call him? The guy for the good lord,
Diggy
on your list.
Cowboys, Oso, Diggy
Oh, no,
Levi. Levi was the third guy that's kind of projected to get less. He's projected to get less than those top two guys. He's not quite the pass rusher, but he's solid.
Right. But no, I'm glad that there's options out there. And go ahead, Derek.
It sounds to me like, just listening to you name off all these guys, like I don't see the Bengals coming out of free agency without at least one of these guys.
Well, I mean, they should. I mean, there's no. You're losing B.J. Hill. You're hopefully getting rid of Sheldon Rankins. You should probably come out of free agency with two of these guys, if we're being honest.
Right.
Yeah. And still draft one. You can get two. You got the two rookies, and you still draft one. That fills out your D tackle room with 5 guys. There you go. There's your 53 active.
And Duke Tobin specifically stated, we need to start at the defensive line. And like you said also, it's a loaded DT class, so there's not going to be too many teams like saying, oh my gosh, I need this guy. I mean, you can never have enough DTs, but they're not going to be like, hey, it's a good DT class. I don't have to overpay for this guy if I don't want to.
But even if you're bargain shopping, you can bargain shop with a Calais Campbell and a Puna Ford. You can bargain shop with a Tyler Tart and a Puna Ford. I'm just trying to get Derek as Puna, so everything has Puna. Or you can make the big splash, right? You could get even the Levi Onwuzurike, who's an up and coming guy, and from the Lions for a decent price, and still add Puna Ford along with it, and then still get a guy in the draft. And you never want to go into the draft handcuffing yourself, feeling like I've got to use one of my first 2 picks on a D tackle. We like the D tackle class, but that don't mean that you have to force that. If you've signed a couple guys in free agency, you're not forcing that pick. Boom, a guy you love's there, you take him. First round, second, it doesn't matter. You could still take him after adding 2. You got to fix this interior defensive line. You have to. It started last year getting a couple young guys that are 3s and 4s. Now you need to get a couple more guys, a couple guys that you can count on, and somebody in the draft that you think can be a stud. Got a few more guys on this list. Byron Cowart, he was with the Cardinals, 60.7 pass rush grade, 60.1 run defense grade, 3 sacks. He is not quite 29 yet. And the contract, the reason I included him, because the contract projection on there, and this one might have been Spotrac, was like 2 years, $5.6 million total. So you're talking cheap, not going to be great, but 3 sacks is what B.J. Hill got. And the numbers PFF-wise aren't too far off. BJ's was a little better, but still, BJ wasn't in the 70s and either, and this guy's in the low 60s.
Yeah.
Sebastian Joseph, who we talked about quite a bit, only a 52.3 pass rush grade, but he did also have 3 sacks and a 77.9 run defense grade. It seems like there might have been some interest in us trading for him. I think that's like Sebastian Joseph Day or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like on the deadline, he was a guy that they were. So I'll just at least include his name. He's almost 30 as well. A younger guy we talked about last year that was with the Jets this year, Javon Kinlaw, 68.2 pass rush grade, 50.8 run defense grade. So he showed a little bit as a pass rusher and had 5 sacks last year with the Jets. Now, that's a very talented D-line playing around him. How would he do here if he was in a bigger role? I don't know. No contract projection, but he's still only 27, former first-round pick. So I would at least a name to keep in mind for – the problem is I'd want him as a 3 or 4, and we already talked about we kind of have our 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's my thoughts. Bobby Brown, next on the list. So this guy is only 24. That's the bright side with the Rams. 56.5 pass rush grade, 67.7 run defense grade. Didn't have any sacks. But you're talking about a young guy, Rams, at least a name to mention. Taven Bryan, 65.3 pass rush grade, 55 run defense grade, 1 sack, 28 years old. And the last guy that I had on this list is 27. The reason I included him because he played a lot for the Montgomery guy that's our D-line coach now, and that's TJ Slayton. So he had a 57.6 pass rush grade, a 45 run defense grade, 1 sack. None of that sounds great, but it's more the connection that he played under Montgomery. Could we see this guy being a guy that maybe they bring in as like he's our 5th guy or camp, or if he's out there for a minute?
Yeah, why not?
So that's why I mentioned him. So with all those names, who you going with, Greg? You get 2. You get to pick 2 players.
2 guys.
But if you pick a Milton Williams Or Osa Odigizua, you only get one.
Okay. I'll go. You know what, man? I'm going to throw a curveball here. I got to go Milton Williams.
You're just taking Milton right off the bat.
Here's my backup.
Give me that pass rusher.
All right, give me that pass rusher. Here's my backup plan if I can't get Milton Williams. I'll take that guy on the third. I'll take that St. Louis guy you mentioned is very intriguing. I will take him, and I'll also take the Detroit guy too, the third guy on your list. I'll take those two guys.
Yeah. I think that's where I like the thought of Onwuzurike with the 67.1 pass rush grade, 64.1 run defense, and he's just now 27. He had 3 sacks, the same as BJ, and 2 years, $16.5 million. So he's projected to get less. If I could get him for less than what I'm paying BJ, and he's a similar caliber player, and he's 3 years younger, why the hell wouldn't I just get him? So I think he slots into one of these spots. Now you never know. Maybe somebody overpays him, right? But
right. Somebody
so,
takes a look at the age and says, we can bring this guy in and pay him for what we know he will do.
So what was the guy you said you take again, Dale, that we get cheaper? What's his name?
The Lions guy, the Le'Veon Onwuzurike. I would take him because 2 years, $16.5 million is the projection. Similar grades to BJ Hill, same amount of sacks.
Well, okay, so you said you take him. Who'd be your second guy you take on that list?
I'll say Puna for Derek, so I'll just go with the old man. I'm an old man, so I'll go with an old man. I'll say Calais Campbell. Give me him for 1 year, $3 million. So boom, I just got both of those guys, and I spent about $11 million, which is what I was going to spend if I just re-signed BJ Hill. So now I got Calais Campbell and Le'Veon Onwuzurike both in my room, and I can go into the draft saying, well, shit, I could start those two guys if I need to. And I got McKinley Jackson and Chris Jenkins behind him. I got 4 guys that I feel good about in my rotation. Now I go in the draft. Guess what? If somebody's there, Walter Nolan, and you like him at 17, cool. If he's not there, I'm not forcing another D tackle if I don't love somebody. I can wait. I can wait another round. I can wait 3rd round, 4th. I can get a 4th round guy that I can develop.
There you go.
And with that price tag, you could probably end up, bringing a Mike Hilton back, or signing another low end guy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with. I'm going to put Puna in a good set of Levi's.
There you go. See, we're all in agreement that we want.
Me too. I agree.
We want this Levi Onwuzurike.
We're still talking about him?
Well, because we're saying we could pick 2. Now, unless you took Osa or Milton, then you only get 1 D tackle. If you pick one of those guys because of the money. But I took Onwuzurike because he's 2 years, $16.5 million, and Calais Campbell. I said, I don't care if you're 39 years old. And I got both those guys, and I'm getting them at these projected contracts, so I'm getting them both in here for like $11.5 million. Guess who I'll get rid of for less than that? Sheldon Rankins. I'm paying those 2 less than I just paid Sheldon Rankins.
I will take that.
Get my fucking team. Get out of here, Sheldon Rankins.
Hey.
Get out of here.
At least they'll be on the field. Probably. Unless Calais Campbell's having his retirement party. Who knows?
I mean, till he proves that he cannot play at a high level, I like that one. But Derek went with Puna. He had to get him some Puna.
Oh, yeah.
And he also went with Levi. Greg went with Milton Williams as his plan A. And then his plan B is Levi and that guy from the Rams that's been like a edge / linebacker / has also played some D tackle before he dropped like 40 pounds.
What was the other guy from Philly that you were talking about?
Milton
was it just
Williams
Milton?
He's the only one from Philly.
Oh, well, I'd
for the
probably
D
take
tackles.
that guy. I would probably just take that guy and then sign him for 3 or 4 years.
There you go. And just say, I know I got my D tackle basically one, especially as a pass rusher.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
the other guys
draft a Walter Nolan and a Milton Williams. You have just changed around the defensive tackle.
I'm just saying, like the 2 guys, the Levi and the Calais Campbell, those 2 guys together, you're just like you're getting a guy that's basically BJ younger, and then you're getting Calais Campbell, who, I know that I was just on here quit talking about the 30 years old and all this shit. And how many times has he got to dominate?
He don't count.
Until he does, right?
Yeah, until he does.
But what I'm saying is, if you do that, you're only looking for a 1 year, and then with the guy Levi, you're not looking for any kind of like spectacular play. You're looking for a good, average, solid rotational guy. And so I'd rather take the impact player and then put him with somebody in the draft. And Trey Hendrickson.
And while we're at it, if we're going to go get Milton Williams, we might as well get that linebacker from Philly. I'm blanking on his name now.
Well, they got their linebacker / edge like Zach Bond, and then they also have Josh.
Yeah,
they have Josh Sweat, so they got 2 guys cut, and that's why it's like, well, who are they going to keep? And they paid out.
Yeah,
a lot of
Zach
money.
Bond and just like wasn't he a late round pick and just kind of fucking came out of nowhere this year?
I feel like maybe he was a 3rd, 4th round guy. I can't remember exactly how high he went, but he was with the Saints, who are linebacker coach, and he was a linebacker there and didn't do as much. So that's something that Greg brought up on the show when we hired that linebacker coach. Basically, will we use him right?
Right.
If we sign him. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good options there. And as much as I like BJ Hill, when you go through the options and at least the projected contracts, I think it leans toward, okay, got to let that BJ go.
Mm-hmm.
Started the show, we're like, you got to keep the BJ. Now it's like, bye BJ.
Well, not if you get a good piece of Puna.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you give me the options between a BJ and a Puna every time, I'm going to take the Puna.
You're a fucking liar, man. You're married. You ain't had BJ in a while. You just got used to it.
But especially if it costs less, right?
Right.
You can get the Puna. You can get the Puna for a fraction of the price.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just take both. Give me BJ and the Puna.
There you go. You could do that too. I mean, there's no reason they can't.
Right.
Especially when you get rid of Sheldon Rankins and the $12.5 million or whatever bullshit that he's owed. Yeah, and then there's the draft. So there's always options in the draft. Is there anybody that stands out to you guys? We didn't talk, but like, let's say you got I don't know, man. One of these more pass rush guys.
Davion Jones.
Well, let's say you got Milton Williams, even, right? His run defense was 43.1 per PFF. So he's not a great run defender. So you know who you may want to look at pick 17? Kenneth Grant.
Yes.
And you pair up Milton Williams and Kenneth Grant.
Dale, you took the words right out of my mouth there, because Kenneth Grant has slightly been falling down mock drafts recently. I've kind of noticed. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's mock drafts, man.
But no, Dale. If you get Milton Williams, Kenneth Grant, boom, that's a big boost for the D line right there.
Yeah, and Chris Jenkins and Kenneth Grant played together at Michigan, and then McKinley Jackson showed some flashes. So I mean, that would give you a pretty solid top 4. So especially if you got Osa Odigizua or Milton Williams, Kenneth Grant makes a ton of sense if you get one of those 2 guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about M here says Walter Nolan and then Watts in the 2nd round would be a draft dream. That sounds like something good to me. And I also think that Watts is going to get drafted by us, or some other team will draft him higher, thinking that we're going to take him.
Trade up 1 spot in front of us, and we didn't trade up 2 to make sure we got
fucking
him.
Right.
Steelers.
Yeah,
It probably will be. Safeties would be fucking Watson, Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
But I think Watts could go even higher. I think he could go early 2nd, not even make it close to 49. But we'll see.
Right.
But yeah, I would like it. And obviously, I'm a big fan of Walter Nolan. There's stuff floating about character stuff and work ethic. I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard anything from anybody.
Oh, yeah, I did remember this. My bad for cutting you off, but Grant also signed with Malagueta.
Well, maybe
I got to tell you, I think that really affects his draft stock with the Bengals because
and just have him switch agents like T if he
likes
right.
switch.
Like in your interview, be like, would you be willing to switch agents if we drafted you?
But if you take him in the 1st round, you got him for 5 years because you got his 5th-year option. So
that's true.
I'm trying to win a Super Bowl within those 5 years. Honestly, I know you always want to extend good players, but shit, give me my Super Bowl within that 5-year window.
Yeah.
Haha. This will bring back your PTSD too about Karlaftis, Dale. Mm-hmm. I know you wanted him.
Sure did. Got very excited. 1 pick. Of course.
He turned out to be a good player too.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going helping out with the fucking 3-peat.
And then I wanted Dax. I was like the only guy. Me and James Rapine were the only guys that were.
Well, you fucking got him.
Yeah.
How's that working out?
We'll see.
It's like,
hopefully.
dude, that sucks so much because like I wanted to fucking like point out to everyone, I was right, and then he got hurt.
Yeah,
I'm like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Slurp says he's open to trading down in the first round, and so am I.
And if we did and still targeted a D tackle, I'll mention the name Derek Harmon. I don't know about 17. You can take him at 17, but I'd like to get him closer to the mid-20s. So
whatever happens on night one, though, you'll be able to watch a show right here, right?
Should be, We should be doing another.
We'll be doing our live draft show day one of the draft. So it's several fucking hours. It's all goddamn night. We sit in here, we drink Four Logos, we get fucked up, and we talk about all the draft picks.
Hey, Dale, fill me. I know you've talked about Harmon before. Is Harmon more of a run stuffer, or is he like a nose tackle, or?
He's more of a pass rush. He had one of the highest win rates as a pass rusher this year on true pass sets.
Okay.
He before he transferred to Oregon, when he was at Michigan State, he was no more as a run defender. But I think he trimmed down, lost like 10, 15 pounds at Oregon and changed the role he played because they also had that Jamari Caldwell who looked pretty good at the Senior Bowl, who's like 6'2", 340. So they wanted him to play a different role, and he played it well. So I think he can do everything pretty well. That's what I like about him.
Gotcha.
Some second-round guys, if we don't take anyone, I could see us interested in. Omar Norman Lott from Tennessee, Aeneas Peebles. Maybe I'm too high on him, but I refuse to back off of that.
A lot of people like Peebles.
6 foot, 289. He is explosive as hell. He looked good in the Senior Bowl game and week of practices. TJ Sanders from South Carolina. Darius Alexander from Toledo made himself a lot of money. He's like 6'4", 305. I would love to add him in the second round at pick 49. And a guy I don't think I'd love at pick 49, but I certainly understand it because he's a mountain of a man, is Deion Walker from Kentucky. 6'7", 340, and you just hope you can fix his pad level a little bit, motivate him a little bit. But that scares the hell out of me when that's the two things I'm saying about a guy.
He's that guy's in Joe Goodberry's first mock. He drafted him
at pick 49.
Yeah, pick 49.
Yeah, because there's some people like, pick 17. If we take him at 17, I will be distraught. I will be distraught.
Not
on
pick
the draft
17.
show.
Look, man, I like the big fella, but I don't like the big fella in round one.
No, if you're going to take the risk, you take it in the second. So at 49, I could at least understand it. He wouldn't personally be my favorite pick at 49 still.
No.
Because he's just not that high on my board, but I would at least understand it. He's not crazy far.
Exactly. I don't think he'd be my favorite pick at 49 either, because I think we're going to go with a better tackle in round one. And then, Derek had to get gas, by the way. I know he was waiting for a spot to say. I saw him pulling the gas station. But I would just rather I do want Watts. I just don't want him in the first round. I'd rather see us trade up in the second round and grab Watts and take a tackle in the first round. So, and then, and that being said, that what's his name? Deion Walker? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to be there in round 3, most likely.
Well, Chap, to back up there. I mean, no. I would love to have Xavier Watts for trading up. Man, you only have 6 picks. Now, if you trade down the first round, get an extra third, then I'm okay with doing it.
You know what though, man? I understand we only have 6 picks, but I'm also willing to give up that 6th pick to move up in the second and get an impact player.
So Mark here, he said, new to the chat. He's subscribed. Just a question about Garrett. We started the show talking about him. You guys can always go back and watch. But would it be worth a look for the Bengals? Probably not. We said because you got to pay him $30 million. Plus, you're probably giving up a first and a third round pick. We just got too many other. I mean, listen, and great player. Plus, I don't see Cleveland trading with us. It's just one of those things. Unfortunately, I don't see as worth really putting too much thought that he could ever be a Bengal.
It's too much goddamn money too. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you're picking between Myles Garrett and T.
Yeah.
That is literally and
you got a chance to keep T. The Browns aren't even going to trade him, so it's honestly
I'm just saying,
trade
if you
with
get
us.
Myles Garrett, there's no chance in hell they'll trade T.
The Browns aren't going to trade in the division. No. They'll have plenty of suitors league wide, and if they're smart, they'll trade them to the NFC. But I don't trust that the Browns are smart. So
they'll have 28 other teams that'll be willing to take Myles Garrett off of their hands.
For sure, and I love Myles Garrett. I have him on my team. Obviously, he's one of the best players in football. I'll throw out some other round 3 and 4 names that,
I got to tell you, though, let's just take a second and pretend like that happened and let our boners go free with Myles Garrett and Trey Hendrickson out there. Ready? It's like our moment of silence. It's our moment of erection. Ready? Go.
Can't do it. You got. I don't believe
Run, Lamar. Run. Okay, it's over. Go ahead.
All right. Vernon Broughton, Joshua Farmer, Jordan Phillips. So we're talking like round 3, 4 guys maybe you could get. Jamari Caldwell, I thought was very impressive that I mentioned a minute ago, also from Oregon. Had like 7 sacks. He didn't have any sacks this year, but he transferred from Houston to Oregon. And at Houston, he had like 7 sacks the year before, 6'2", 340. And you can see the get-off. Like, he moves very well for a guy that is 6'2", 340. So Jamari Caldwell is somebody that I think everybody should be interested in when you start getting the 3rd, 4th round range. He's fun. I would like to add him. So that's just some names to mention. Vernon Broughton's from Texas. Farmer's from Florida State. Phillips is a redshirt sophomore. I thought should have went back to school out of Maryland, but he decided to come out. And he's got tons of talent, tons of upside. Didn't have much sack production, but he's a good run defender, and I think he's got talent still as a pass rusher. So if he's there in the 4th, sure, but I wouldn't want to gamble on him any earlier. We've already got Chris Jenkins, who's good against the run, and we took 2nd round after 1. So, I mean, I like him, but I see too much similarity there for him.
Yeah.
So that's some names. That's all I got on defensive tackles. So we'll see what the Bengals do. We try to always go through all these different positions and who's available in free agency before it hits. We'll get into more draft talk, all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. Maybe some guests. Maybe a Jay Gruden comes on with us next Monday.
What?
Jay Gruden coming back on next Monday?
Someone like that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So that's the plan as of now, is to have Jay Gruden on our live show next Monday.
That is the plan, yes. That is the plan, yes.
That's the day after the Super Bowl.
Exactly. We can talk about the Super Bowl. We can talk about the Bengals season. We can talk about the Washington Commanders season because he was the head coach for Washington.
We can talk about Jay's opinion of Al Golden.
And Jaden Daniels. We can talk Jaden Daniels. Jay Gruden.
Because if you remember when Jay Gruden was on here, you asked him who was a better prospect coming out of the draft between him and Lamar at the time and Jaden Daniels. He was more higher than Jaden Daniels, and it showed this year. I know Lamar still played an MVP level, but Jaden Daniels, man, he didn't have the talent Lamar had on his team, and I think
Daniels is the man.
He may be able to tell us even a little bit about Scott Peters, the O-line coach, see if he knows anything about him or, what he's heard about him being an offensive guy. He could probably give us a little insight into that. So should be plenty of things to talk about with Jay Gruden. Probably have him on for 20 minutes or so, first 20.
And another thing we could talk about, trying to get Vontaze Burfict to come to the Bengals. I don't care what, as an assistant coach. Because if you guys saw, his brother John interviewed him because Burfict's trying to get into coaching. I say get Burfict. If Burfict's here as an assistant, I don't care if his assistant job is knock somebody out, positions coach. I'll take Vontaze Burfict.
Derek does weird things, Crip. Crip can't get over Derek and having that dolly in the.
I was looking at it too, and I noticed that it had the indentation for half. It's a half barrel dolly.
Yeah, I know.
It's not flat, so
who knows?
Yeah,
Derek's into weird stuff, Crip.
Right. It's probably getting his big giant vat of baby lotion, baby oil.
Oh, he's diddying it.
That's right. Ooh. And Astroglide and baby oil.
That's less than ideal.
Yeah. You been watching that Fall of Diddy on Max?
I don't have Max, but there is another Diddy one on Peacock that Marissa was watching last night. I was going to sleep.
It might be. Maybe it's on both. I don't know. It's the Fall of Diddy is what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know what this was also different. Just had different people talking about.
That fucking dude is evil, but I ain't gonna lie, man. I'd
that way.
Probably went to one of them parties.
Oh, jeez, John.
I probably would have. I mean, I wouldn't know. It's a party, right? He had all back in my 20s. That sounded a lot like the stuff I was into, not the Astroglide and all that. I mean, just the partying part. Like bring me some Xanax. Okay.
I'm not gonna touch this one. No.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have been a victim. Then I could have got paid now.
Oh, Jesus.
Could have claimed end the show.
Yeah. Yep. We've gone too long. The show has gone on too long. Nothing good. Did you do your homework over the weekend, Chop?
Oh yeah, believe me.
Jumps the diddler.
There's a lot of hands-on work going on. Joy Campbell. Yeah.
Who Day Stranger. Appreciate you all for tuning in. We'll be back Friday. Who knows what kind of show we'll do. Maybe we'll talk a little Super Bowl, even though I hope they both lose.
Both.
Maybe we'll do a mock draft. I know mock draft Monday always sounds better, but we went through a lot of stuff here. I don't know what I'll set the show as. We'll probably maybe look at another position group, but go through one quickly or something so we can do a mock draft. Just the Brew Crew here do a mock draft on Friday. We'll see. Who the hell knows? Who knows? That's why you got to like and subscribe and tune in. You never know what kind of crazy shenanigans the boys will be up to.
Love you guys, all of you. And I'd fucking diddle the entire Brew Crew if you want. No. With permission.
Oh, no.
I mean, because I love them, Dale. With permission. I wouldn't fucking jack you up on drugs.
Oh, gosh.
End the show. You should have ended the show when I said end the show before.
You're right. I waited too long. All right.